Now for sport with Sasha Mirzabegian, and Sasha, a big week for Australian boxing.
Sure is, Richard, and I'm joined now by sports writer Paul Kent to go over last Wednesday night's fight between Mundine and Gill, and of course next week's fight between Sonny Bill Williams and Francois Botha. Paul Kent, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Mundine says he was robbed. Where were you the night of the fight?
I was ringside, and I think I was like the other 9,500 people in the place who saw the fight and thought Mundine was probably lucky to get 4 rounds on one judge's card. I think the fight wasn't even that close. I think Daniel Gill was a clear winner. I'm a little bit concerned that Mundine thought he won that fight, and more particularly that his corner kept telling him he was going so well. Nobody I've spoken to since that fight believes Anthony did better than 3 rounds to win the fight. So how he thinks he won the majority of rounds is just beyond everybody, to be truthful.
Mundine says you're a hater, are you?
Oh, look, I prefer to say I call it real. Look, Mundine for years has been getting away with saying different things. I actually said to him the other day at the press conference that he was rewriting history, and that's what he does. He makes claims that nobody actually challenges him on, and most of his claims, I believe, are wrong, factually wrong, and yet because nobody challenges them, and he's been saying them for so many years, people have begun to accept that they are the truth, and they're quite simply not.
Paul, you said that you mentioned Ambrose Palmer in that press conference about as an example of one sports person going from a team sport to boxing. But didn't Ambrose Palmer only win Australian titles, whereas Mundine has won international belts?
That's true, but look, Ambrose Palmer fought in a different era. When Ambrose Palmer fought, there was one middleweight champion in the world. Today there are 18 different forms of what we call the ABC belts. There's 4 recognised by the International Boxing Hall of Fame, but there's 18 around the world. Boxing has become a farce in that manner. There's no true one world champion in any sport. No champion holds every belt. So you have all these variations. Back when Ambrose Palmer was fighting, he basically fought for, there was just one middleweight champion, one light heavyweight champion, one heavyweight champion. When Joe Louis was the heavyweight champion, there was nobody else around that could also claim that they were the heavyweight champion. That's the era that he fought in. And let's also remember that he fought in Australia, which was a long, long way away from
but Paul,
the rest of the world back then.
Can I interrupt you there for a second? Like, you've often questioned Anthony Mundine's contribution to boxing in this country. I understand you're a fight fan yourself. The guy's only fought 49 pro fights, no amateur career. Daniel Gill has fought over 160 amateur fights. Now, would it be fair to say that Mundine has contributed more in a shorter space of time to Australian boxing?
No, I don't think so. I think time is irrelevant, how long they've done. I think that Daniel Gill is nothing but a positive role model, and I think Anthony had every opportunity to be a positive role model and blew it. And if you think Anthony was contributing to boxing by what happened the other day in the press conferences, in what he said about Daniel Gill's wife, about his family, about the genocide of the Tasmanian Aboriginal, well then, yeah, we're on a different plane here, because there's no way you can say that that is a contribution to Australian boxing. That is an embarrassment for Australian
Isn't trash
boxing.
talk just part and parcel of boxing? You know that, and it's been like that in the States.
It's not part and parcel. There are lines you go to in boxing, and there are lines you don't cross. And look, why is Anthony allowed to get away with accusing people of being racist and then having a crack at Daniel because he married a white girl?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Is that not racism?
Yeah, I admit that's wrong. Yeah, totally. But then again, I'm talking about boxing and what you have to do to get bums on seats. Everyone uses a different method. Mundine has actually gone out and sacrificed his reputation to the public in order to put food on the table for his family. Isn't that worth admiring?
Oh, look, no, he's not putting food on the... Look, let's not go that far. Let's remember, they were going to sell pretty well on this fight regardless. Maybe another 10 or 15,000 pay-per-views were bought because of what Anthony was saying, but they probably sold 70, 80,000 pay-per-views for this fight. At $50 a head, that's a $4 million gate. So it's not about putting food on the table. If Anthony had sat there and put tape over his mouth the whole way, last time they fought, when nobody knew who Daniel Gill was, they sold 46,000 pay-per-views. That's $2.3 million. So there's a fair earn in there. He didn't need to go to the lengths he did, and to simply dismiss it. Anthony's not doing this to sell tickets. Anthony's doing this because in the back of his mind, he has this cause that he's trying to keep giving air to. I think he's a little bit confused about it at different times, and that's what the basis of his comments were, not about selling tickets.
We'll have to wrap you up there, Paul. You know your boxing, and all the best of luck to you, and thank you so much for coming on the program.
I'll come anytime.